All right. Well, it's about 8:25. About an hour to the bell right now. At this point, I've got $670 of profit. I've got a small trade on CAVL or KAVL, but I'm looking for my next entry on it. I thought I was chasing it, so I was like, I don't know, I better just get back out. So, problem is, I just sort of missed it. It's a huge move from $1.48 all the way up to 336. So I'm always happy if I get in and it feels too extended, just to get right back out. So right now, I'm just waiting for the right entry. Um, I'm not sure exactly where that's going to be, but we'll see. So leading gapper this morning, if we just look at the gap scan, so KAVL, we'll keep that on watch here. This is the second leading gapper. The leading gapper is CXDC. This up here has risk of false breakout. I can't be a buyer right here on this. I have to wait. CXDC 115, it's a little too cheap. KAVL seller there at 50, so topped out at a high of 65. You've got gap fill on this up to 445, but see how it, I mean, you could have taken that trade. You certainly could have. From 25, they're up to 65. That's a nice 40-cent trade, but I think it would be probably safer in terms of big share size to wait for a little bit of a cleaner pullback. So I'm going to keep it on watch. GNUS halted pending news. We'll have to keep an eye on what the news is. So the high here is 65. It's our leading gapper right now at 126%. But it feels top heavy right now, so feels like there's some sellers up here. Where would be a level that would be a little safer? I mean, it could do small trades if it broke 57 up to 65, 75, but it's not. It's not the safest entry. By the way, I apologize for the computer fans. I know they run kind of loud. Try moving that up a little bit. Where's my tape? Where is my tape? Well, the problem is I like a laptop because I am traveling and trading quite a bit. So you see how we've got this red candle, 10-second chart, pulling back a little bit. So I would say here, I'll take a starter there. for the break through 65. Add is over 65. And then 75. Add it at 65 and 75. And let's see if this rips up to $4. So watch 85.95. Holding 7,500 shares right now. I took some profit at 71. That was a 1 minute pullback. The high is 83. New order goes at 85. If it breaks over 83, I'll add back what I sold. Taking a little more profit off. So that was a 1 minute setup. It's not a home run trade, but it's a 1 minute setup. First 1 minute candle to make a new high right there. Now, typically with this type of setup, you want to see it hold this level. We got first 1 minute, second 1 minute. The high is now 83. And so if it pulls back at this spot, that would be, from a chart perspective, okay. There's a 20,000 share seller up there at 70. There's a 20,000 share buyer at 67 though. Orders at 80. So we'll continue to watch the level 2. It's 8:30 now. IRNT hitting the scans. So we've got to watch for breaking news. So this probably has news. The float's a little higher. 17 million shares, not that bad. I'm going to leave it on the side because the volume's pretty light. Keep watching KAVL. Reminder as always for those tuning in on Facebook and YouTube for the pre-market, for the day trading morning show. Trading is risky. Most beginner traders lose money. You shouldn't try to blindly follow me or anyone else. Do yourself a favor and don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. And practice by trading in a simulator before you put real money on the line. In case you didn't already know, my results are not typical. So this is probably where someone would be looking to start being short because you've got these 4 huge green candles in a row. Having said that, there may be people who are already short, and if it starts to move higher, they're going to get squeezed out. So these could be dip areas. If it holds 50, you know, if it can hold the $0.50. The thing is, we've already had our first pullback and we've had our second. So I sold the rest break even there at 51. So first trade of the day, 9,000 bucks. That's good. That's good progress. It gets me on the leaderboard, gets me green. So the dip down there was to 46. Watching scans. KAVL popped right back up over the $0.50. SONM. So this one, a little tricky because it had that move the other day, but then totally retraced it. Hit a high of 3. It's up only 22%. We're in a bit of a FOMO, MOMO type of market where we are seeing stocks pop up and make pretty crazy moves, which is good, but you also have to be careful not to be the one buying the top. So this would totally benefit from a 5-minute setup. SONM. Pulling back a bit. KAVL has gap fill to 445. It's not blue sky, but it has a lot of room. So the 5-minute is a little premature. See, the thing on a setup like this, first 5-minute candle has a very high likelihood of being a false breakout because it's so extended off the 9 moving average. You know, it's possible that it works just because of the volatility that we're seeing right now, but I'm not totally sure. PHUN has pulled back too much on the daily. So we're at the 9 moving average. A pullback down towards 3 would be okay. And then buying dips off of $3. That would be okay. That would be down to the volume weight average price. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Nice. So you got that bounce off the VWAP. That's good. So you've got about a minute left on this current 5-minute candle. Below that last candle was 322. Let's watch for another dip. Pulled back to a low of 311. So this is still our leading gapper right now, which is good. So I start accumulating on pullbacks, and I'm not going to add full size until we have a 5-minute setup. But the high of this candle is 46. I'm going to put my order at 65 because now we've got that pullback to the volume weighted average price. So the high of this candle, 46. This 5-minute candle is about to close as a small green doji. The add is over 46. And then we're going to look for a break over the $0.50 and an add through 55, 65, 75. Adding at 46. Next add's 55. Watching the break of 50. Adding at 50. Now looking for 55. Added at 54. So as we start to scale up, look for 65, then 75. That should have broken a little harder. I took some profit at 51. My average is 37. Now I'm going to watch for a dip. This was what I was talking about with a false breakout on the 5. Added at 33 on the dip. Took the profit at 40. New order goes at 55. So this is the first 5-minute candle to make a new high on a stronger setup. This would have broken over 65.75 and gone back to the high. The target on this type of setup is high a day. So we didn't get that on that first attempt, but this could also form an ABCD pattern, and that would be okay. So I can continue to watch off of this yellow ascending support line for entries. So added at 37 right there. That's the yellow ascending support line. Looking for the break back up over the $0.50. So watching 55.60. 20,000 share buyer on the bid is good to see. Average is 337, holding 3,000 shares. So trading within the range, taking a little profit, then I'm happy to add back on the yellow ascending support line. So watching down here for an add back, added at 38 and 39. Again, a dip off that yellow line. Average is 39. This candle still has about 3 minutes left on it. Holding a little less than 1,000 shares. Nice bid just popped up there. The high back on this candle was 58. Start to move my order back up towards 70. So the high there is 58. That's the level that needs to break. A little choppy here. Taking the rest off the table at 44. We'll let it pull back down to this yellow line. Around 40. So those streaming on YouTube, the broadcast on YouTube is delayed just because YouTube doesn't use the most expensive streaming servers for YouTube broadcasts. So the delay probably depends on where you're logged in from. We use ultra low latency servers in the chat room for Warrior Pro students who are streaming. Warrior Pro students also have access to our scanners, so you can see which stocks are moving. Of course, KAVL is the one that we're watching here. Feels like this might dip, like this kind of consolidation, sort of a long move up, and possibly off of a dip could be a better entry. There's a 30,000 share buyer at 40. Watching around 25. Starter at 36 and 37. Over 47 would be an add for the break back up over the $0.50. So watching 45, 46, and 47 to add. See, there's a seller there. Let's see if that seller breaks. As soon as I see that seller, I'm like, I don't know if I love that. But I'm going to watch here. So added at 39. Added right there. Now looking for the break back over. There's a 10,000 share buyer. Now let's look for the pop back up over 50, the $0.50, 350. Stopped out of that for a 1 cent loss. Let it pull back. So now the next entry is around 316, which should be the volume weight average price. We're in a little bit of kind of consolidation here. I don't know if it's going to break out in a big way. Maybe the move from right here to here is the bulk of it. Dip trade at 23. It's a dip off the volume weighted average price. High of this candle's 44. If it breaks over 45, I'll add to the position. See, the nice thing here, added at 33. The nice thing here is that I'm in right at the bottom of this candle. So now over 40 and 45 as we get that curl back up through 50. This can put me in a nice position for a trade through the $0.50. So high of this candle right there is 38. Add spot is 38 and 39 for the break over 350. Added at 38. Looking for this candle as it bottoms out. The same as it did before, bottoming out and then a squeeze through the high of 45. If we break over 45, we should break the $0.50 of 350. There's a 10,000 share buyer on the bid. That's good to see. There's 40. Let's look for the break of 45. So this is turning into a nice trade through 45, 46. We want to see the squeeze. There's 46. Nice. Look for the add at 47 and 48 for the break through the $0.50. Adding at 47 there. So trying to scale into this as it moves higher. High of that candle is 47. I'm looking for the break through 48 and 50. We've got 90 seconds left on this current 5-minute candle. It's an ABCD pattern right now. 58 is our important spot to watch. So I'm going to watch in this area for a dip. Added at 37 and 38. So buying the dip there for the retest of 46 and 47. Nice, there's 49, there's 50 on the ask. Nice, taking some profit as it comes up to that level. Holding 10,000 shares, new order goes at 60. We've got a double top there at 58. Added there, 58. Now looking for the squeeze through 60. See how the volume comes in there, taking some profit. There's a 50,000 share seller. Now if it holds the $0.50, watch on dips. Added at 48. Bought the dip. Now look for the retest of 65.70, and we're going to look for a retest of high a day, 83. If we break 83, obviously we're looking for $4. So my next ads are going to be 65, 75, 85. Watching right now, 65, 75, 85. Dip trade added at 43. Buying the dip. Looking for that curl back up on the 5-minute. High of this candle is 57. We've got 41 on the ask, 42. The sellers there are pretty big. I'm going to unwind that position for now, and I'm going to look to add back on a dip. Let's see if I can get filled. I sold at 38. I'm going to put an order at 25. No fill at 25. The 80,000 share seller I didn't like seeing. So gave back maybe 2,000 on that trade. And I didn't get an entry on the dip at 20. That would have been a nice dip entry. So kind of interesting there. It came up to 65. There were sellers. It couldn't break, and as it started to pull back, it flushed through this level, and then that hurts the chart pattern. So we still have an ABCD set up with a trigger at 65. Now we're looking at 83. And I can still actively trade this, but in this range it's going to be a little harder. You would probably look at this as a bear flag drop, sideways consolidation, double bottom off the 20s. There's sellers there at 27. Bounce back up. But if I had taken that dip at like 28, I'd really only be up at most like 2 cents. So not the biggest bounce yet. Remember at 9 a.m. I'll be watching for breaking news. We'll see if there's any stocks that hit the scans. Right now, our leading gapper of KAVL is up 117%. Bought the dip at 15, so starter down there. I expect this is a test and will reclaim, so now over 25, adding at 25 for the bounce back up over VWAP. There's 30. Seller up there taking a little profit off at third, 29 and 30 for a nice dip trade off of 18. Even if it's only 10 cents or 15 cents, that's still a nice dip trade. The low there was 13, so it's a bottoming candle. Nice, Timmy, from 17 to 34. Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic. My best entry was, I had a fill at 17, 18, 21, 25, and 26. Took profit at 31 and 29. The high of this candle's 35. So that's a nice dip trade. I'm still holding a smaller position on it right now. watching for another added back at 18. So another dip trade, double bottom. Smaller size on this one, and took it off at 21. So I think today I'm gonna have to be a little light on my feet. Yesterday we had some really nice momentum, but as the day went on, we saw a lot of the stocks that made big moves, they didn't hold their levels super well. It wasn't like BKKT or DWAC, which not only held their levels, but continued significantly higher. So the fact that today, just based on the fact that yesterday things were a little slower, I think today I have to be a little cautious. KAVL right now is still in range. It's around the VWAP. It's pulling back a little bit. Really, this was sort of the moment of truth here, where if it had broken that level, that would have been fantastic. It didn't. So we'll see. So 365 is clearly a level to watch. We've got room up to 445 on gap fill. And then CXDC gapping up on the gap scan. This one's pulled back too much. GHSI. And we've got about 4 minutes to 9 a.m. Watching small trade there, 2,000 shares at 11. Still just buying dips on this. I expect it'll have support around $3. But the fact that you're seeing like 50, 80,000 share sellers on the level 2, so there's a seller right there at 15, so I sold. That's a little concerning to see such big sell orders. Still up 100%, but those tuning in on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up if you haven't already for the morning show. So there's just big sellers on KAVL. You don't know where those sellers are coming from, but they're walking it down. They keep moving down the ask. So it's now 40,000 share order that just popped at 3. And then if they pop another 40,000 at 298 or something like that, it just, is continuing to walk the stock down. PHUN. So the problem is the high was 24 bucks. So yes, it's up here, but it's not up that much, relatively speaking. So it has quite a ways to go before it really looks good to me. Yeah, sure, it could be. It's hard to say, but that's possible. Gap fills 445. So there's 9 a.m. Let's see. Nice on RDBX. Good. Recovering. So at this point, I'm hoping for another stock to pop up, since KAVL clearly has a lot of sellers. So looking for something else. BLIN had some news earlier. It's not on the top of my gap scan. Some news on RDBX, 9 a.m. So for sure, KAVL needs to get back above VWAP. It's incredible how quickly stocks can move at times, how they can, break through the VWAP and just rip like explosive. And, it's just a matter of timing that. KAVL, could that happen? It could, but certainly there's been a good number of sellers, so it makes me a little cautious. Yesterday, there were some big moves. I mean, MYSZ yesterday. Nice big move all the way here up to $3, back to $1.40 this morning. So the fact that it's great to see the move up, but we're not seeing them hold. IINN closed at high a day yesterday, 959, squeezed all the way up, and then just faded back to 520. So, that's the fade is what's disappointing. We're not seeing the continuation. We had BKKT. This continued really well from day one, where I traded it down around 11, all the way up to 13, pulled back, and then squeezed up to 18, and then it continued all the way up to $58. That's continuation. That's what we want to see. But when they then roll over and they don't hold up well, that certainly weighs on momentum. So at this point, I don't have a lot of interest in BKKT, DWAC. It's to be expected that they'll pull back a bit. It's just how much are they going to pull back? So at this point, just sitting tight. 9 a.m., 9:05. So I'm not doing dip trades below VWAP on this right now. So Warrior scans, SONM was the last one that hit the high day scanner. Gap scan for the most part is unchanged. Relative volume scan, we'll keep an eye on that once the bell rings. So Warrior students, of course, have access to scans, chat, and classes. So these are the classes here. So parabolic squeezes would be nice if we see one or two today. Breaking news, IPO, buying into or out of a halt, break of the highs, micro pullback, $0.50, whole dollar. Let's see if we can find something. As a reminder, as always, trading is risky. You shouldn't trade with money you can't afford to lose because a lot of beginner traders will lose money. My results are not typical. So right now is calm, cool, collected, patience. HUDI. Yeah, you have that topping tail, shooting star candle, but boy, yesterday it rallied back up, closed at 23. Just remember, this is one that can be very, very brutal. Here it dropped from 23 all the way to $15 a share. So given the fact that it has no news and the volume is very light, the risk is very high. Of course, high risk and high reward sometimes go hand in hand, but on this one, the reward potential over 24, 25, 26, 27, up to 30. But then if it ends up being a big gapping candle, it's very likely it would be a reversal on the daily. So that would be a very short-lived day trade. I don't know that we would be able to expect multi-day continuation on it. PALI, I don't see really anything going on that one right now. Those streaming the morning show on YouTube, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you hit the thumbs up, and I hope you're subscribed to the channel. Again, I had said that if we can cross over 1 million subscribers by the end of this year, I will do a small count challenge on January 1st. So I would love for you guys to subscribe. LCID floats 155 million. "20 minutes to the bell, approximately." I would do that in a simulator if you're going to try to do that. Right, so yesterday we had some really great action pre-market, and then it was slow at the open, and then you got this some of these kind of mid-morning moves like INN, and then into the afternoon. Well, GHSI is below the VWAP, so I'll leave that one alone for now. If we can get above it, that'd be interesting. GNUS was halted pending news. Not sure what the news is. Floats 9 million shares. The net imbalance can be especially helpful when watching a IPO getting ready to open. The imbalance will come down, 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 and then it opens. So it'll come down, it'll go up, it'll come down, it'll go up, and then when it comes down to zero, that's when we usually see it open. So it's helpful in that context, but otherwise I don't find it helpful. So a bit of a curling pattern here. CRTX, not sure. It's a little more expensive for sure. Yeah, it's the laptop that I use. It's a pretty high-powered laptop, and it makes a lot of noise. I did get a new one that I was considering using instead, but I didn't really like it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll switch them. I use the matte screens. Yeah, it is a Falcon computer, so prepare for the fan to be loud. All right, well, we've got about 10 minutes to the bell. I'm not seeing anything that I'm really in love with right now. Sounds good. All right, have a great day. Nothing else on the scanners right now. RDBX after yesterday's huge reversal is too risky for me. Well, we've got 5 minutes to the bell, and it seems like things have sort of slowed down. We had some nice momentum on KAVL from $1.48 up to 383, but that was it. Nice, so that's a tap off the 20 moving average. right, well, we've got 3 minutes to the bell. I think I'm going to take the money off the table here, 21,000. It's a good day. Doesn't seem like much else is happening, so maybe take a break for 15, 20 minutes and then come back and see if we have anything looking good at 9:45, 10 a.m. But seems like a slow day today, so just going to lock up the profit, be grateful for another green day, and try again tomorrow.